back to this corner of the internet. Don't know how you found yourself here with us goblins.
Yeah.
How many corners does the internet have?
Wait, are we goblins?
No, it is
too?
a very complex short. It's a very complex shape.
Can you clarify this for me, Trey? Are we goblins too?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
that was my headcanon. Is that we were like the
I didn't
super.
sign up to be a goblin.
I thought
We're
that
like
was just
the
our
super
listeners.
hip hop goblins. We're like the big ol'.
Oh, okay.
Big ol' chief goblins, and we're ordering around our smaller, ugly little dumpster troll goblins.
We are the chief of this dumpster.
Yeah, we're the chief of
the
this
collective
dumpster.
chief of this dumpster.
We run this dumpster. This is not a democracy. You will like the things we like.
Yeah. You know, I'm about this, but about it being not a democracy. Can we have a theocracy?
Yes, we can have a theocracy.
And we praise trash.
Yeah, we praise garbage, like the absolute just tip top. We have a signed copy of Zookeeper on a shelf.
Oh my god! I forgot we watched that. I blocked that movie.
Lock it away. Throw away the key.
No. Let's talk about a good movie we all watched instead.
We can forget that.
Real quick. Yeah, we were real quick. Trey and I watched Zookeeper, starring Kevin James. Don't watch it.
Watch it.
There's nothing to be gained by watching that
movie. That movie is almost 3 hours long, and like 80 minutes of that is absolutely nothing. The rest is trash.
We literally were like, hey guys, how far into this movie? We gotta be wrapping up, right? Paused. We were halfway done, and everyone cried. But a good movie that all three of us have seen, the new Spooderman.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I guess I'll kind of lead. Oh yeah, no.
Kevin James.
God, how long until you think Kevin James is in the MCU?
I don't know. I'm surprised it hasn't happened in like a TV show or something at this point.
Yeah, but I guess let's kind of talk before we get into the movie proper. I don't want to like spoil too much of it, or if we are, I want to throw up like a big old.
I don't think we should spoil.
Yeah, let's not spoil it.
Anything big.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Mysterio? I think Mysterio is fair game because I think people should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that comes from the comic
thing of is he a friend or a foe? And it's like, well.
Yeah,
obviously,
I feel like
if you don't know that.
Spoiler tags, I guess, but I think that one should be fair game. I feel like it won't be a very productive discussion if we can't like talk about if we can't talk about that one twist just because it's a very, very easy to see twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and especially like going in, I can kind of say when I went into the movie, and as a guy who kind of grew up with the comic books, I was like, oh, it's Mysterio. He's all smoke and mirrors, blah, blah, blah. But Marvel lately has done like some reimagining on some of their villains. Like the biggest one I can think is Baron Zemo. Mm-hmm. And actually M'Baku from Black Panther is originally a villain.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mysterio, though, originally an actor?
Mysterio was originally an actor, I think, in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was either an actor or a magician, so all magicians are evil.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
Very true. In real life, too. So if you know any magicians, you should probably watch yourself.
Yeah. No, that's a rule of thumb.
They've definitely seen you naked. I'm just saying. Like, they've definitely seen you naked. If you know a magician, that guy's seen you naked. Or girl. I'm not going to discriminate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, magicianese. Magicianese.
Yeah.
Okay.
obviously, the female pronoun for magician is magicianess. It's in the Bible. I've seen it there.
I'm pretty sure a female magician is just a magician.
Shut up, Tyler. Anyway.
Either way, that was pertinent to what we were talking about. Yeah. But yeah, so Mysterio, I guess the minor spoiler we'll get into. Mysterio ends up being a bad guy. I don't want to like go into how they made him a bad guy.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling. What did you think about that scene? Don't get into specifics, but I heard you groaning in the theater a little bit about
the scene with the glasses when he gets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, so I don't know. I'm very mixed on this movie. This movie to me. I heard a friend also describe it. This movie to me feels very almost Iron Man 4.
Yeah.
I mean, kinda. I mean, I guess in the sense, like, it's kind of like the villain from Iron Man 3 a little bit.
Yeah.
And motivation-wise, it kind of is the same.
Yeah, that scene, I guess that scene didn't bug me as much. It's just like the way they did it, it was just like, oh, hey, guys, remember Iron Man? Do you guys remember Iron Man?
Yeah, but I think it's fair. It's just like he's Iron Man's protege, trying to get into that mantle. I'm okay with like a one movie where like if the next Spider-Man movie is like what is it? He just Tony Stark but Spider. If that happens, then I'll be a little upset. But I'll give him this one movie.
Yeah. So I mean, that scene didn't bug me as much as some.
Okay.
Of it.
I could hear you groaning in the theater. That's why I was wondering if I like.
Did I groan at that? I groaned at the fucking very beginning of the movie when the high school announcers were like, and we're going to enter a new phase of our lives. And I'm like, boo.
I like that. That was great. That was good.
I liked the movie. I liked the freaking Microsoft Movie Maker movie.
Yeah, that was great.
I love the fucking always love you shit. That was so good.
Yeah, but just like we're gonna move to a new phase of our lives. I was like, yeah.
I like that a lot. I really like the movie. I think I definitely can see where some people, because like it's a teen comedy, a teen dramedy. I don't know what you want to call it for like the first like third of the movie. I think.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's just them hanging around. Peter wants to ask MJ out, but he can't because he's a little baby boy.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that was my biggest problem with the movie is it didn't feel like a cohesive movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt like they wanted to tell, like, 3 different Spider-Man stories. And Spider-Man, it's always the weird one, and it's also a very, like, old-school, almost kind of style of superhero movie, like the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, because if you think about it, Spider-Man was one of the only heroes in the MCU whose identity was any type of secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's true, yeah. He's very atypical. In MCU, they're very against secret identities, it seems.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of wanted more of like what they were doing in the first half of the movie. Of
like you like the teen comedy.
Well, no, what I liked is just the whole like idea of Spider-Man having to try to like play the double role.
Oh, like juggling all the
things and trying to like.
I mean, that's classic Spider-Man,
it is.
Right? Like he never having enough time to do any to be like a person and a hero at the same time.
Exactly. And then like it was just weird how the second half of the movie nobody just questioned anything. It was just.
Well, they even pointed out.
They
like,
did.
They
That's
have a character
in universe.
In universe, like guys, come on, guys, how do you not see this? Like, how is nobody else? And then they even like do like you really shouldn't be asking these questions, and then they just move on.
Nope.
I thought that was actually kind of funny how they like pointed out how silly it is that Peter keeps getting away with it, and then they just kind of moved on. Like,
yeah,
no, I 100% agree, and. For me, like I said, it's almost a very old school, because you think about any of the other MCU heroes, they're just walking around and people would be like, oh, hey, it's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You know, the Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of made it, he kind of emblemified it with the end of Iron Man 1, where he, like, tells everybody he's Iron Man. And that's been, like, the whole drumming it up ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and I just remember a decade ago, freaking 16-year-old Dan being like, oh, no, that's crazy. That's his secret identity.
Yeah, wait, it's a secret identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that they could kind of build around that, like I said, it didn't just like, I don't know. To me, it just felt like some of the things, they kind of had the different plot points. They kind of slopped together, it almost felt like.
Yeah. I mean, so I thought the narrative was actually fairly cohesive. I thought there was a lot of moving around, like a lot of jumps. But like, it was all wrapped around a singular narrative, so I didn't think it felt too busy to me, personally. But I definitely could see why... somebody would. I can see why you'd think it would be a little. Why you'd feel busy to you, or like why it feels like it's being a lot of different movies. I do think it is like 2 movies in one. It's like a fun teen comedy and also like the serious hero.
Yeah, the serious hero action
movie at the same. Yeah, and it kind of is both those movies, but I think it handles it fairly well, honestly. Like.
Yeah,
there's definitely a line of demarcation between the 2 movies. Like when you can feel when the movie is suddenly shifted into like hero mode, but besides that,
yeah, I don't know. I guess like I kind of just wasn't expecting as much of a like the way they advertised it. They weren't really making it sound like that much of a like teeny comedy movie, which I like teeny bop comedy sometimes.
Yeah, I thought I mean, especially because I thought the humor really worked. I don't know
the humor stuck.
Yeah, like I'm not always into the Marvel brand of humor, but it really worked for me in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too much of Flash Thompson being Flash Thompson. Just a little too much of that character. Just a sprinkle too much for my tastes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did like I said, I did very much enjoy the movie.
Sure.
Especially some of the sequences with Mysterio, as we were talking before. When is it spoilers to go into like when Mysterio actually uses his illusion-y stuff?
I mean, again, it's one of those things where like they do a very good Mysterio in this movie, as in like it's what I think Mysterio it has to be in the modern era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like the way he uses his quote unquote abilities makes a lot of sense in this time period. I don't know if it's spoilers to say what he does though, but I feel like again, if you know anything about the comics or anything, like if you look up Mysterio on Google, I think you'll get where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a general rule with the MCU that I've seen that somebody posted. Anytime an A-lister shows up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're evil as shit. They're super evil.
Super evil. So,
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
true.
Actually very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mysterio's evil and he uses illusion. So there you go. You win. You did it, Mysterio.
And it has one of the coolest sequences of the whole movie.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought that was one of the coolest scenes in like the entire. One of the coolest scenes I've seen in a long time, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
especially because of how rapid fire it was. Like, even I was starting to get disoriented watching it. I was just like,
oh yeah, no, it was super well.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that Doctor Strange scene where he's like flying.
Yeah, I did get that feeling. The mirror dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think very much makes sense. Which also, again, they showed the scene in the trailer for it. Where the fuck was Doctor Strange?
Again, they don't. I feel like they're doing some. I don't know. We can't say anything.
Well, we are getting another Doctor Strange movie. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, they do mention that he's not available for the movie, but they don't say what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably standard Doctor Strange stuff though, where he's not getting.
He's not
involved.
really concerned with the physical, right? It's all very much like the.
Yeah, he deals with threats from other like dimensions, pretty much.
Oh yeah, like extraplanar intimate, elemental beasts.
Like that.
Extraplanar.
Yeah, like other.
Yeah,
like elemental beasts from another plane. I don't know.
He deals with things
they did pay lip service, but they did pay lip service to the fact that he wasn't going to show up because
I think it is going to be the thing. Yeah, I think it is going to be the thing where, because you have to remember from the first Doctor Strange movie, Baron Mordo is still alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a bad guy now. Like,
and he's very bad guy.
Yeah, so he's just doing I'm almost positive he's going to be a major part of the next Strange movie.
Okay, yeah, so they're just going back to back with each other then.
Yeah, I would have to assume.
Yeah, that works for me. It was just that I just like when he's going through the list. I think I looked at you, Trey. I was like, hey, remember that time Scarlet Witch turned Thanos inside out?
True. Yeah.
I wonder what she's doing.
Yeah, I wonder where she's at. She's probably just, just living it up. Just kind of chilling, grabbing a martini.
Yeah.
Grabbing a martini, thinking about her dead boyfriend.
Yeah, remember
when her dead brother.
Remember when my brother and my boyfriend died? That was a time we had.
But yeah, no, overall, going back to Far From Home, I really, really liked it. Also, I don't want to spoil anything about that end credit scene.
Yeah,
end credits.
Neither end credit scene. I'm not going to mention a word, but the end credit scenes in this movie are beautiful.
Yes.
They're absolutely amazing.
Yes, with the biggest amount of fan service you can imagine.
Yeah,
but I loved it.
Very good. Make sure to stay for both end credit scenes. You won't regret it.
Yes.
Yeah. We got anything else, or should we move on? I mean,
I think that
pretty well covers it.
Honestly, we can do spoiler talk next episode. Get into. Because I have some things I want to at least bring it up next episode. We don't have to spend a whole episode or nothing talking about it, but I do have some stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it for this podcast. So
yeah,
that sounds good.
But yeah, moving on. What have you guys been up to this week?
Oh, this week.
What you guys been playing or watching or talking about? I don't know.
Yeah,
reading. People read.
Do you guys just want to? You guys want to swap podcasts?
The book cast.
Yeah, let's. I don't really read. I wish I did. I wish I had the time to, but
I listen to audiobooks because
oh yeah, that's good.
who reads.
I listen to podcasts that aren't this, so.
Ooh.
I know.
Ooh.
Scathing review of ourselves.
Scathing review of our low effort podcast.
Yeah. So something I've actually watched a while back was a Netflix movie called I Am Mother.
Yeah, I saw the...
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question about that.
Yeah.
I have a question before we get into it. Does that trailer they released, does that spoil the whole movie, or was that just
what happened
or
in
was
the
that
trailer?
Misleading?
What?
Okay, yeah, because there's a trailer,
Because
and
I
I watched it on YouTube. Netflix put up a trailer for I Am Mother, and before it came out, and I watched it, and I watched the trailer, and I came out of it thinking, like, I don't need to see this movie now, because I've seen the whole thing. I've seen the whole movie. Did it this time. I've seen the whole movie.
Was the trailer basically just you see the girl and then you see another like you see the girl, you see the robot, and then you see another woman show up?
Yeah. Well, it goes through her whole life basically. The trailer.
Going through her whole life is like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Okay, and like the whole intrigue of whether Mother is bad or not, is that like a...
Is that kind of the point of the movie? I will say, the movie is not necessarily groundbreaking in how it deals with, like, AI.
Right. I mean, it's the whole, like, is this artificial intelligence good or not? But they even go so far, and maybe I'm spoiling this for Dan, but, like, in the trailer, they even go so far as to be like, oh, Mother is part of the robots that took over humanity. And I was like, what? Why is this gotta be in the trailer?
Did they say take over humanity, or
they killed humanity or whatever? So it was it was like
that seems like a pretty big thing to say in just the
the Resistance girl comes in and it's like, you can't trust Mother. She's one of the robots who killed humanity, and I'm just sitting there like, why is this in the trailer? Like, wouldn't that have been a cool thing to find out? Like, it's not like a groundbreaking, like you said, like it's not a groundbreaking discovery.
There's nothing, I would say, in this entire movie that's necessarily groundbreaking, but it is a well-done version of the kind of typical AI story, particularly where it's kind of that gray area of kind of what is the AI doing and, like, how did it come to be this, and, like, how did the way it was created and programmed lead to it doing what it did?
Sure, yeah. I mean, and that I can accept. I just thought it was a little frustrating. But is it better than Ex Machina, though?
Ex Machina? I don't know if I've actually seen Ex Machina.
Oh my god, you guys got to see Ex Machina. That movie is so good. That movie, I mean, if you want a good movie about, like, the morality of creating AI, that one is, like, really good. Very, very good. I think it's on Netflix. It was for a while. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah. I will say, I thought this movie had a kind of interesting end to it. I thought that was the part that was actually the most interesting, to the point where I was very much expecting the title of the movie to be said, which I'm glad they didn't. because that would have probably ruined it. Yeah. But
also, Ex Machina is on Netflix, so you should definitely watch that.
Yeah.
If you like debates about AI, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. Netflix. But yeah, I think a part of the movie too is just the whole time you're going through and you're wondering the title, is it supposed to be referring to, like, I think the movie tries to lead you into thinking that I Am Mother is referring to the robot. Mm-hmm. But towards the end is kind of like bringing this thing, well, maybe the movie is not actually titled after the robots, but after the girl. So...
Okay.
The real robot was man.
Yeah,
the real mother was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. That type of thing, yeah.
Yeah. There were definitely some things, though, that, didn't work very well. And I think one of those was, I think they had a lot of missed potential with the woman who came in from the outside. I thought her role in the movie was very good. Mm-hmm. Up until a certain point, which is basically when they had, well, I don't know how much you guys care if I spoil this movie. It's not, like I said, it's a solid movie. It was definitely enjoying.
Yeah, I don't care.
So I guess if you don't want to have the movie spoiled, then...
Yeah, spoiler warning for
then cut ahead a bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, the big reveal was that this woman just kept talking about how there are other humans outside the facility that the girl is being kept in by the robot. So we finally get to the point where she convinces the girl that the robot might be evil.
Right.
So they leave the facility, and they both run off, and the woman drags her out to some beach where she is living in a shipping container. And the girl's like, hey, where are all these other people you had in your notebook? Like, what happened to them? Why aren't they here? I thought you were taking me to where these other people were. And the woman says, oh no, they're all gone and dead, but I'll take care of you, and I'm here for you, and at least it'll be us humans standing together.
Oh.
But at the same time, that woman rushed to leave, and this is right when the robot back at the facility started creating the girl's younger brother. So the whole kind of timeline for the robot is, it seems like the robot has done this several times. That the robot basically made
a person.
Yes, or at least once before. That actually no, I think it shows that she's at least like the third or fourth attempt, to the point where the girl finds an incinerated corpse and some bones that it left over, and that's really what I think drives her to stop trusting the robot. So the robot was basically taking her directive to make humanity better, to create a better version of humanity, not to necessarily raise the current state.
Humanity.
Yeah.
So like it keeps starting over.
Yeah, so it basically burned the planet to the ground and started over. The main thing I don't get is how this woman, because it seems to be kind of implied that she survived this whole like torching and rebuilding of the Earth. So why is it that, like, first of all, how did she survive so long? Because the robot had presumably raised 4 different girls up to
several children.
Yeah, several girls up to probably about the age of like 16 to 18, and at that point decided if they passed her test or not, like a literal test. And if they did, well, none of them did except for the final girl of the movie, who then fought back against the robot, and I guess the robot said, yes, this is what I wanted, and kind of put itself into slumber mode. This movie is a little all over the place. It kind of has...
Yeah, it sounds like it is. Though,
it has a lot of threads it's trying to follow through, and some of them pay out and some of them do not.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from when you say... I'm assuming, yeah, she becomes like the mother of the next generation of humans.
Yes, well,
like
she then, starts raising her, as it was called, little brother, or at least as the robot was trying to make it sound. But once the robot's deactivated, you see her standing there holding this baby that was just created in the lab. And like, that's when I would see her like look up at the camera and just be like, okay, that's where you like throw the title up and you're like, she is the mother. I Am Mother was referring to her.
Start rolling the credits.
Start rolling.
I get it. I mean, it does sound like it's trying to juggle a lot.
There's like I said, I think they picked a few too many things to follow that they didn't really pay off. And they implied a lot going on in the world and stuff, particularly around, like, they had, like, their big reveal that all the robots outside are also Mother, and she is just the entity that controls basically all the robots and technology on the planet, which I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, because why would they be separate systems and entities? That makes no sense from a programming point of view.
Right.
So I actually kind of appreciated that they did that. But there's a lot of things they kind of set up as big plot points that, again, never paid off. Oh, also that woman who escaped, like, the girl ran away from her, and then Mother went over and killed her eventually at the end of the movie. Yeah, it was just... The movie was all over the place. I mean, I enjoyed it still.
So, yeah, you liked it. You give it a pass.
I'd give it a pass, yeah. I wouldn't...
Yeah.
Call, but it's above average. So, I'd give it somewhere between a 6 and a 7, probably. Yeah, it's probably closer to a 6.
Doing the Netflix where it's okay.
Yeah.
They made another piece of okay media. Congratulations. Good job, Netflix.
Yeah.
It's better than what they've been doing.
You give them a back pat. Good job, Netflix.
They do some
hit
things
the bar.
that are pretty good. Like, another thing I watched recently was the
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that yet because I'm only a couple episodes in.
Okay, I'm almost done with the season.
I think I'm halfway right now, so
it's very good. It's very good.
So far I'm loving it. Like, the first 2 episodes I thought were a little slowish, but it really starts kicking in the third, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of a slow burn, but it's very, very good. I like this.
Awesome. Jessica Jones.
Oh, you're watching you started watching.
I finished actually the latest season of Jessica Jones.
Oh, okay.
And that was, I thought, pretty good. I thought it was better than the second.
Okay.
I thought it was
I like the second season.
Not quite as good as the first, but better than the second.
Okay.
And I thought they just did some very interesting things with the characters. So, it's
I've been like trying to like I've been wanting to get to it, but at the same time, like, it's one of those things where once I watch it, I'll know it's over. It's the last Marvel show.
I know.
Netflix.
That's the thing that's kind of sad about watching it, is it's just this. I know this is going to be the last season, and even if you
like, I'm just like, man, I don't want to watch it because, like, at least if I don't watch it, there's a chance.
Right.
It's not over. It's still ongoing.
It's Schrodinger's Jessica Jones.
I was gonna say, you guys aren't gonna buy Disney. I don't even know what it's called, but you're not gonna get.
No.
Probably,
but you get plenty
of originally. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things. I might pick it up as my third rotating one for a bit.
I just don't like the idea of everybody making fucking.
No, I agree, but that's why
services.
I don't like
Did you hear?
Subscribe permanently to them.
Yeah, who makes The Office? They're making their own.
Oh, really?
NBC's making their own streaming
course.
service, so because
that's why they're.
I mean, I think NBC for a long time had a way that you could like watch episodes online with like commercials after like a week after it aired or something like that.
Yeah, but Netflix is going to be losing them too because everybody's going to make their own thing now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because what we need is more cable. That's what we need. We just need cable.
Yeah, we just need cable again.
That's what we need.
Especially because I think they announced that Netflix is cutting back on their spending, which, I mean, makes sense because there's probably going to be more people dropping off of it. But at the same time, how are they going to stay competitive now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, have you seen... Well, I mean, first of all, Netflix prices keep going up once a year at this point now.
Yeah, which is kind of silly. Like, they really need to be trying to be competitive at this point. Like,
the fact that I think now I'm paying $10 just for a one-screen plan. Follow up to that, too, though. Have you guys seen where Netflix was debating putting ads on their service?
Yeah,
basically doing what Hulu did.
Yeah, well, Hulu has the paid, and then you pay more for not ads, and that's I think that's a pretty crappy thing.
I still disagree with, but at least they've been consistent about it. That's always been, or more or less always been, their thing.
Yeah.
There's some stuff on that. We were talking Netflix, and we always like to poke at how Netflix is going down the shitter, huh?
A little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's still things that they're doing right. It's just. They've been doing a lot of things wrong recently, and like I feel like it's just be so easy.
Well, I don't know, but I think part of it is they just had a really strong like start, particularly when they started doing their Netflix original content. They had a really strong start.
Yeah, and I think they're having like the successors, like the successful dilemma, where like they're doing well, and so they don't feel like they need to try. It almost feels like.
Well, that's, like, again, kind of what I get with Disney with their own thing is like, hey, man, the MCU did so well. Now we're going to make a TV show about Loki and Falcon, and I think Hawkeye's getting a show, too. And really? Scarlet Witch.
Well, I thought Hawkeye was the one that was more focused on his daughter taking over, right?
Yeah, that's what Hawkeye is going to be, is either he's training his daughter or he's training, like, a new person to be Hawkeye, and Clint's just going to, like, show up in it from time to time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That could be good. That's actually the only one that I was thinking I might want to watch.
I'd be interested in watching the new Captain America with the Falcon Captain America. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one I'm interested in. I do not care about a Loki show,
I don't either. Yeah.
Like,
he's an okay character in the like Thor movies, but I don't want him to be main
a
character.
primary character.
I don't see him being entertaining for that period of time.
Well, and especially like it's Loki from 2012, the one that escaped with the Tesseract.
Yeah, like I don't care what he did. Like it's not interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just gonna be evil or be pretty evil.
It's somewhat
But,
evil.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no,
Just
sorry.
kind of juicy evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's got us a little tangent, but we were talking like, man, Netflix stuff. Or just streaming stuff in general.
Yeah.
Jessica, like, do you think, so are the Netflix Marvel shows going to stay on Netflix then? Just not get any
I
seasons?
assume so.
Probably.
Because they're still on
Yeah.
Netflix properties, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're still, and Netflix funded those from the ground up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I have to assume those will still be there. They just can't make any more.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Hey,
but
yeah, I
we
agree.
already, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, particularly for the ones they were doing a great job with.
Yeah, right. I really like the Netflix Marvel shows. Like
Yeah.
I like them a lot. So
I mean-
it's a little upsetting.
You guys do you guys want Iron Fist season 2?
We
No.
already had
Hey, come on.
that, right?
No,
Wait, did we?
Yeah, I thought
we did. Yeah,
we had a season 2.
There was
And it left on a cliffhanger, and then they were like, "Yep, we're not doing this
I didn't-
anymore." Or not a cliffhanger, but they
I didn't see season 2 because I thought season 1 was garbage.
yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I remember people hated season 1. I fell asleep when we tried watching the first episode.
I think
Yeah, because it was
season
boring.
2 was girlfriend took over the Iron Fist, and that was how it ended, or something like that.
Good.
I don't remember her name, to be honest.
Danny Rand
the Iron
sucked. Danny Rand sucked.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He was like the worst version of that character. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jessica Jones, good, solid, good send off. You think?
yeah, it was I thought a really good send off. It did what it really does best, which is focusing on kind of a superhero or super powered human as an actual human being.
Yeah.
I think that's really what the Jessica Jones series has done the most, with all of her psychological
Yeah.
issues and
PTSD and all that.
yeah, and kind of trying to grow as a human and trying to think about how she fits in the role of a hero, but also not wanting to be a hero. So yeah, I really like the psychology of it, not to mention all of the characters have just interesting stories that are going on.
Right.
And boy, do some big things happen in this final season. So it is...
Oh, does it end on a cliffhanger? Please say it doesn't end on a
it does
cliffhanger.
not. It does not end on a
Okay.
cliffhanger.
Okay, good, yeah.
But it's... Yeah, I mean, all throughout it's just action-packed. But yeah, I think because they knew that it was going to end when they ended this, they pulled back on
decided
it.
Yeah, they made sure to actually end it.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
good. I was
I don't...
afraid.
Honestly, the ending I thought was the weakest part.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wonder if it was filmed in post.
I was gonna say probably because it was a rushed ending, if I had to guess.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
They probably had to like go back and reshoot. I bet. Like I bet they had.
That's possible. Because honestly, the final scene was just Jessica Jones, so they didn't even need to pull in any of the other actors or actresses. Yeah, I could see that. I could see them having recreated that scene after the fact or whatever. But again, it's a really solid one. I really liked also what they did with the lawyer character.
Oh yeah, the rich lesbian.
Mhm.
Yes, they do not shy away from basically pointing to how flawed the legal system is.
Oh yeah.
Not at
Okay.
all.
That's cool. I'll probably end up watching it eventually.
I would recommend it. Like it.
I just, man, I don't want it to be over, man. That's it.
Yeah, it was a very kind of bittersweet ending because of that.
Yeah. It's just we had such a good ride.
Yeah.
But Dan, what have you been up to this week? What's been keeping
not a
you
ton.
busy?
What's been keeping me busy? Mostly work. I've basically been keeping on. I have been watching I finally got around to a new season of a show that's really good, but I don't know if I ever talked about it. But keeping up with Ava,
Mhm.
just met Asuka. I don't want to dive too much into it. I think I need to watch more to really.
Yeah.
make an opinion.
I want you to get to the really juicy bits. You know, the fucking
Yeah.
when they run out of money.
Yeah.
When Gynax runs out of money. That's what I want to.
Yeah.
Here's the one big complaint I have with the show, though, and it's just a complaint for me, is they, especially because I'm listening to it dubbed, they redid the dubbing.
Mhm.
Why the hell do they need to leave a loud-ass cicada, like, like the cicada sound in the background to the point where you can't hear the characters talk.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a problem with mixing, because you can hear
Yeah.
them talk just fine
Yeah.
in Japanese.
Yeah, and I think it's just like I'm just like
Because
Netflix.
The cicada is a very the cicada screech
Yeah, it's
is
a
very
Japanese
common
thing.
in Japanese, but especially older Japanese shows.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah,
That's
and
very.
I think maybe they just
very common.
yeah, they wanted to like keep that same type of thing of it. But I'm just like, man, you didn't have to make it that loud. Come on, stop.
Yeah,
it,
that's
stop
not,
it.
that sounds like something they just should have
Yeah,
fixed in
that's-
post. Honestly.
Yeah, and it was just a couple scenes where I was like, and honestly, it's something that only bugs me. I think where I'm just like, hate that sound.
Oh, it would bug me if I were watching it too, because I've noticed.
I mean, if it was louder than the people, I actually like that sound, and I
Yeah.
don't know why. It's like one of those things where it's just like such an emblematic thing of Japanese, of anime.
Yeah.
That is just
Yeah,
like,
you know it's summer in Japan.
yeah, it's sort of like
Yeah.
it's like comforting in a way when I hear it, where it's just like, oh, I know I understand that, I get this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say too is it's interesting going into this one to see kind of like these prototypical forms of a lot of these like character tropes and traits, especially from other freaking Trigger shows.
Yes, yeah,
Mhm.
they definitely.
Or I shouldn't say
have
other Trigger shows, but yeah,
They Trigger has reused some of the tropes that they
yeah, 100%.
started in this genre.
Yeah, but another show I watched, and I've just been getting back into it, was I don't know if I've ever talked about Bungo Stray Dogs before.
You've mentioned that you liked it. I don't think you ever mentioned much about it though.
It's real good. I think it's a real good, just kind of like popcorny kind of show. If you like let me think about it. Like, do you know the show at all, Tyler? Too.
I think I watched the first part of it.
Okay, because it's the third season. I think is just finishing.
Okay.
Or finished
Didn't it like
recently,
switch
this last
focus to a
season.
completely different character or something in the second?
So no, okay, it does that, and it did that in the third season too. The second and third season start with flashbacks of one of the main characters, Daizai, back when he worked for the other organization.
Okay.
And they're like 2 to 3 episode long flashbacks.
Got it. Because I think I kind of like watched like 1 or 2 of those and I kind of lost interest because I was like, I don't know what you're doing. What does this have to do with anything? And I just...
Yeah, it snaps back.
Okay. So I never watched long enough to get back to it snapping back.
Yeah, it's about 2 episodes. I think in the third season, the second season, it's about 3 episodes. The third season, it was 2 episodes, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I will say it is interesting going back to the show because I forgot almost all of the character names. For anybody who doesn't know the show, it's, I guess, a shonen.
Yeah,
Basically,
kinda.
people all have really cool powers, and they use those powers to fight. But the powers are so weirdly defined, and they're also all literary references. So if you're that type of nerd, like, I can't remember what the name of the one guy's... The main character's power, I think, is like Tiger Burning Bright or something, and he turns into a fucking tiger.
Yeah.
So,
You know.
yeah, and it's got, like, it's cool to see what they have people do with all these powers, and getting to see some of the character development too, especially, like I said, starting the third season, they just introduced this new character who I'm getting a lot of, like, Joker from Dark Knight vibes.
Oh, like some like kooky, or not kooky, just like some sort of crazy dude.
Yeah, like, kind of crazy, kind of like, oh, hey, I'm gonna justice this world by lighting it on fire and starting over.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, but it's not like the Joker from Suicide Squad. I can't watch it unless it's like
So
that.
so it's just like the robot from I Am Mother.
Oh,
Ooh.
good.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and I'd recommend the show. I think the first and second seasons especially were real good, and the second season, if you finish that flashback arc, has one of the coolest fights ever at the end of the flashback. So that's what I've been doing. Not a lot,
Okay.
and I've been playing a buttload of Divinity too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Which we've been over.
Yeah, which we've been over multiple times.
Okay.
Just there's so much to sink into that
There
game.
really is. I
All
still
right,
need to
I
finish it. Do we have any... Do we need to dive into the Steam bath this week, Trey?
Oh, I mean, there is a Steam bath. I do want to bring up one thing that did come out. I guess I probably mentioned Final Fantasy XIV before, but there's an expansion that just released. So I thought I would like touch base on it.
Sure.
For people who enjoy MMOs or just Final Fantasy.
Mhm.
It's real good. The expansion's very, very, very good. It's actually it's competing with Heavensward for my favorite expansion. For those of you who don't know, Final Fantasy XIV is a Final Fantasy game but it's also an MMO set in the same universe as Final Fantasy XII and Final Fantasy Tactics, which is very interesting because they don't really tell you that at all.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to go to like the raid content to really understand that. It's set like way after those games too, so it's not like you'll get any major spoilers or anything by playing. Yeah, it's very good. I think Final Fantasy has a very good story, which is good because Final Fantasy games don't always have good stories. So
yeah,
they really saved it with this one. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy 15.
Also just like an MMO with a really good story, like an actually really good story.
Yeah, which to me at least seems atypical. I didn't play a lot of WoW or any WoW really, so I can't really talk to whether
I can't say I cared about the story at all in that. So
yeah, most people didn't. It seems like they just kind of they used the goodwill of like because like Warcraft has a good story.
It did.
I've seen synopsises of the Warcraft games. Those games had a very good story, and then World of Warcraft just kind of rode the coattails of that.
Yeah.
It seems like World of Warcraft the story always became, hey, we're still fighting Horde and Alliance, but we need to work together to fight this other thing now too, but we're also still fighting. It's very much the feeling I got, at least from watching like trailers and stuff.
Well,
never played WoW.
I think originally, I think vanilla WoW was more like Horde versus Alliance. And then I think that kind of changed in the expansions. I think. It's...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like you played the games, and it's just most people I talk to who play the games, they don't care about the story really. Like the only things they care about the story are stuff they did in Warcraft, the Warcraft games.
Well, which
like,
is
that's
sad
the story
because you bring up
about.
Warcraft 3. I've beaten that campaign probably 3 times, and I'm gonna beat it again when they release the remaster of the game. But I could not bring myself to care about it in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's just that they did such a poor job of like getting the story right, which I think that's the one thing. Because I hate MMOs. I'm gonna be real. I don't like MMOs very much. Like almost any of them. Like I've played Guild Wars. I've played World of Warcraft. I've played a little bit of the Old Republic, like the Star Wars one. I played a few. I don't get very far because I usually get really, really bored of them.
Yeah,
like really bored of them usually. But like. The fact that Final Fantasy has a good story really kept me going, because, like, especially the first game, like, the Realm Reborn content, the story is not that good. It's very much, like, anime story of, like, oh, we have to stop the evil emperor guy from taking over the world. And then, like, after that, though, the story just goes completely off the rails. like, we get into, like, political intrigue and shit, and I'm just like, Huh.
Alright.
Okay. Alright, Final Fantasy, you're getting... I'm starting to understand where you're going, and then, like, in the Heavensward expansion, you're fucking fighting dragons and shit.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stop evil dragons who've been warring forever, like, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so good. This is such a good story, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I did enjoy the game. I only played through Heavensward. I did not get into Stormblood, although I have it. I mean, I guess I have it in that I own the game, despite the fact that I don't have the I haven't paid for the subscription. Recently.
Yeah. That is one thing. It is subscription based, so like you have to pay per month. But there's a lot of content and a lot of shit. The one nice thing I think this one does, what I think a lot of MMOs should learn from, is that a lot of the bulk of cosmetic things in the game can be earned.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to their store, there's not a whole lot you can buy. Like, there's some poses and a few mounts, and that's it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the biggest issue I had when I did play was just whenever I got on because I wanted to play with friends.
Right.
And so I would be going through and I'd be doing the story content, and then we'd get to the end of a mission, and then I would be in like a 15-minute long cutscene, and they'd all my friends would go off and start doing other things, and I'm like, I want to play with my friends. I don't want to watch a movie now.
That is a problem, is the story content is not very multiplayer friendly. That's something you definitely want to do by yourself. But that does bring me to one thing that this does very, very, very well, is that they implemented a new feature for this expansion that you can do dungeons with NPCs now. So
Okay.
they're slower than doing it with people. So like you would want to do it with people, but if you just want to go through the story by yourself, which I've been doing,
You can't do things like aggro the entire dungeon and just fight them all at
yeah,
once.
you can sort of. I tried doing that. It cuts it pretty close. Yeah, you can't pull the whole dungeon very easily unless you're the tank.
Yeah.
But it does make it so like you can get to that story content and then watch the cutscenes at your leisure, and then afterward you can start working on raid content and stuff with your friends and not have to worry about
I feel like playing with NPCs kind of defeats the point of playing as a healer, though.
True.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's some sadism right there.
Yeah, you
that's masochism.
You have to heal.
Just fake
I didn't think about that. That'd be awful. Actually,
don't worry, I'll save you. Beep boop, beep boop.
I appreciate
Does this unit
that.
have a soul?
How can you heal what does not live?
Yeah, I won't drum up anything much more about it. I just think that the story in Shadowbringers especially is very good. The concept is very cool. You're going to the first one of the 14 planes, and you have to become the hero of darkness and stop the light because they have to always be in balance. And I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, we can if you want to go into my steamy bath.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes.
Yeah.
I also
Cue up that theme song. Me.
Trey Steam Bath.
Good theme song.
Yeah, get that. Love those dulcet tones. But yeah, Steve. Yeah, so there's not a whole. I didn't play a ton. I did make some progress, but I think the major issue is I'm gonna have to I'm instituting a new rule about audio games because they're just so audio games. I'm in the A section, so I'm hitting a lot of audio type games.
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of them are just. So I played
Audio Surf, Audio Blaze,
Yeah.
Audio Wayne.
Yeah, I played. Yeah, so I played Astropop, which is a PopCap game. That's it's like one of those you're a board and you're bouncing a ball to break blocks sort of games, except for it's
Tied to music somehow?
no, this one isn't tied.
Oh,
to music.
okay.
This is the only play. This is besides
Okay.
Banish, this is the only game I played that wasn't tied to music.
Got it.
But this one is just it's very simple. It's one of those games you could have played on Congregate or Newgrounds or something. It's just literally it's a PopCap game. If you play a PopCap game, you know what you expect. It's just you're just trying to rack up score, unlock new levels. It's very, very simple. I won't go into detail. Audio Surf, on the other hand, that one's that's a fun game.
Yeah.
I enjoy Audio Surf a lot. I have 1 and 2. I was playing 2 for this one.
Okay.
2, it's fun, especially if you have a lot of music that you can download or add to it. I think 2 does a cool thing where you can go online to find music.
Yeah.
1 didn't have that feature. This one, so you don't have to necessarily own the music you're playing.
Yeah.
But again, it's simple. These games are literally just made for you to jam out to your songs, but also have something to do with your hands.
It's basically an interactive visualizer.
That's entirely it. There is a fairly decent mod scene for Audio Surf 2, which I thought was pretty cool. You can get mods that different mods. So there's different. You can add different game modes, or more challenging stages, or different runners, or surfers, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Which I think was pretty cool. So you're not just stuck with the same motif over and over. Because I think the base game has 6 motifs that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Which isn't a ton. And the game is definitely aged visually.
Yeah.
Even though, it's definitely aged a bit. Even though it's not super old. It wasn't super pretty.
Well,
like Tyler said, it's just a visualizer. The game.
Yeah.
Next game I played was Auditorium, which is a puzzle game based around music.
I think I've played that. Isn't that the one where you're creating synthesizers?
Sort
to
of.
solve
Yeah,
puzzles?
Yeah, essentially, you get like these little bubbles you can move around. There's like a stream of music or a stream of like light, essentially.
Okay, it's that one.
And you can,
I was thinking of a different one.
and you can put these little bubbles next to it, and the bubbles do different things that interact with the stream of light, and you're trying to get them into all of the little synthesizer.
I think
like,
I played that back on
baskets.
Congregate.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like a Congregate game, especially because there's no settings. There are no settings anywhere. You can minimize it, and you can put it in windowed mode. Those are the settings. You found them all. It looks terrible on my monitor, and I can't fix it. I want to put it looks so bad. Like, dear indie devs, you're darlings and I love you. Please add settings to your games.
Yeah.
Please do this for me. I would be so happy if you would just do that for me.
I think particularly those like
Pretty
Flash
please.
port kind of games are the ones that are most notorious for not having
the
settings.
PopCap games are bad, which is those are Flash ports too. Like, it's just like, man, this would be such a great game if it scaled to my monitor at all. Or, had buttons that weren't gigantic or something. Can I scale the UI? No? Alrighty then. Alright, so next game I played, one game I haven't played, which I should, was Banish. I haven't played that yet. But the next game I played, which is a fun one, Batman Arkham City, Game of the Year edition.
Oh, yeah. Does it still hold up, you think?
I think it does. I really liked that game. I think that game has some of the best pacing I've ever played in those Arkham games. I've played the first one, and I played the second. I've watched the third one. I do not like Arkham Knight. I think Arkham Knight's, like, weirdly not good. It's just, like, it's because there was a lot of effort put into that game, but it just is not a good game.
Yeah. Is City the second one?
Yeah, City is the second one. It is also an interesting concept because it makes to me it makes a little less sense than Arkham Asylum, because like Arkham Asylum made a lot of sense to me. Like, oh, it's an asylum, and Joker gets out, and there's some intrigue. This one is like they cordon off a whole chunk of the city of Gotham.
Yeah, they just decide to have an evil part of Gotham.
Yeah, they like
they build a wall.
Yeah, they literally build a wall between the city, this part of the city, and then the rest of it. So they just let the city be like run by criminals and gangs.
Yeah.
It's a goofy premise, but like once you get over that, it's actually pretty cool. Especially like the influx of villains, I feel is very good. Like, every time you get to a new section of the city that's run by a different villain, it feels supernatural to do so. And there's some very interesting fights. I like the spin they do on all the villains. Like, Penguin especially is a very, very, very different from the other versions I've seen. Mm-hmm. And then it has some very cool boss fights. Especially Dr. Freeze is awesome. His fights are amazing. Like, just very cool. The way they do them is that he adapts to your fighting, to the way you fight him. So, like, no technique you use against him works against him twice. You're trying to, like, crack open his suit. So, like, if you attack him from the front and then break his suit open, he'll, like, make it so if you attack him, you get shocked from the front, so you have to, like, figure out another way to fight him. And, it, like, I don't know, just playing through it, it's kind of just reminds me of, like, why these games were so popular in the first place. It's very well done.
Yeah. It's basically better Assassin's Creed combat.
Yeah. It's a better Assassin's Creed stealth, too, in my opinion. I think the tools that Batman gets are a lot more, because I don't like stealth games very much. But the stealth is such a fast-paced, like, Batman takedowns are so quick. Like, he literally just, like, grabs them and they're down.
Okay.
And like you can flip from beam to beam so fast that even somebody like me, some like bonehead, can't. How do stealth? How me no be seen by people with guns? Even I can reasonably stealth through a lot of sections, and like they'll keep adding challenges. Like if you do too many like stealth takedowns from the air, they'll start breaking the little fixtures that you're hiding on, or like. If you use smoke too much, they'll start like getting night vision goggles and stuff. It's pretty cool. I thought they did a lot in that area. That's why I know people like to mention Arkham Asylum as the better game. I personally think City is just the better. I thought the story was better in City too. Mm-hmm. I thought the ending of Arkham Asylum was was kind of a letdown. Joker just does a bunch of drugs and hulks out.
That's true. Yeah, the ending wasn't great. I think I liked Arkham Asylum better in some ways just because it was more contained.
It was more contained. It kind of reminded me a lot of like a Metroidvania. Like there was areas you couldn't get to until you got suit
Got the
upgrades
tools,
and
yeah.
Kinda, yeah, which
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was definitely not as because like you're in a city, so like it's a way bigger area.
Yeah.
I think the story just tied together a little bit more neatly in 2.
Yeah. I think I just got sick of I was like trying to collect everything and do every little thing in the city, and it was just wore me down very quick.
That'll drive you absolutely loopy.
Oh yeah, no. Finding all the trophies, I think, is
the Riddler trophies. That'll drive you loopy. Don't do it.
Yeah, but
I just did the story. I didn't finish it obviously, but I got to I think where you're trying to find Ra's al Ghul. That was where I stopped playing this playthrough. But yeah, good game. Won't go too much more into that one, but yeah, that was my steamy bath. Thanks for joining me.
ooh.
Deemed.
Yeah, join me next week where I'll be playing more fucking audio games. Watch.
I know. Well, even when you get
Beat
into
Saber and Before the Echo are both audio.
I was gonna say you're getting to Beat still.
I was gonna say
Beat, and then I have fucking 5 Bejeweled games to get. That'll be fun.
Do you really need to play
No,
each
I'm
Bejeweled
not.
game,
I'm not going to. I'm
I
joking.
expect
I'm
a
gonna
detailed report
I'll-
on each one of them.
Yeah, well, I'll give you tune in next time where I give you the small intricacies between each Bejeweled game. Bejeweled 2 Deluxe is really the best of the series, really, but they never got better than Bejeweled 2 Deluxe.
Honestly, if we could do a joke podcast of an hour of you dissecting it, we could talk for an hour about the differences between Bejeweled games.
If we ever go
Like
on,
Brian, the fucking unraveled polygon
yeah,
stuff.
if we ever make a Patreon, that could be one of the reward episodes. It's just me losing my mind over Bejeweled games. But yeah, that's what I bring to the table. I watched some stuff, but I'll save that for next week. Since we're
Yeah,
at
I
that
did.
hour
I
mark.
forgot one other thing that I've played a lot of, but I don't think we need to talk about that.
Oh, is it the TFTs?
It's auto chess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We can get into that next week. I wanted to have
Yeah,
a
maybe
discussion.
next week.
We can have like a compare and contrast. I've been playing a lot of Underlords, so
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, is that an episode? Then?
I think that's an
that's
episode.
an episode, boys.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Yeah,
Thank y'all for stopping by.
Yeah, tune in next week where I dethrone Tyler because I am now the audio god.
Oh. Okay.
I've been playing so many audio games, I have transcended. I've become the audio god.
I expect
Or just now's the time.
I expect a new theme song for the podcast.
Yeah, the new themes. It's just me on a kazoo.
That's canon. That's happening.
It's
Y'all heard
happening.
it.
I need to find a
Hold it to him.
Yep, I need to go buy a kazoo.
I got a couple.
Ooh, alright, let me a kazoo, my man.
All right.
Okay.
Is your Chiefs?
I'll show Tyler. I'll show you.
Yeah. So that's it from your Chiefs here, and
Yep.
we'll see
Yeah,
you next
get
time,
back to
Dumpster
work.
Goblins.
Yeah, get back to work,
Yeah.
you gross goblins.